Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. Who you with, Kirk? I'm M. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. I'm M. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. I'm in. Welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm in. Welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm in. Welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm in. Welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm in. 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 I'm in. Who you with, Kirk, dog? Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm M. Who you with, Kurt, dog. Hopefully everybody had a great day today. Hopefully you got out and took advantage of early voting today. Today was the last day for early voting. The election will be held on Saturday, June the 5th. So make sure if you haven't voted in the runoff election that you go out and please let your voice be heard. You're saying you want changes. You want to protest, you want to march, want to boycott, well, add voting onto that list because this would be a great time to let your voice be heard, to be able to make a change in this world. So, man, welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, D Live as always in the house, kicking it live. You can live chat with us during the show, during live shows. You can always chat with us and let us know your opinion. This is a platform for everyone. We may not agree on everything, but that's okay. As long as we're respectful to everyone. And also, we come in with facts. We can get along real good. So you're welcome to chime in anything that we talk about, or if it's something that you have you found out about that you would like for us to speak on. So you can always do that. You can chat live with us in the chat room and go from there. Today we're going to hit on a couple of stories. Hurlburt Field is an airman out of Florida. We're going to hit on him tonight. Herbert. And then Sophie Hartman, we're going to hit on her also. Go through all the trouble of adopting a child. And then you put this child in all these different pains to have these different surgery that is not needed. We're going to hit on that tonight. Then we're going to talk about this Alabama teacher. I believe I mentioned her last week about she was accused of having sexual relationship with her student, with a student. We're going to hit on that tonight. And then we're going to talk about Christopher Kelly. He took part of allegedly took part of the riot on January 6th at Capitol Hill. So we're going to talk about that tonight also and the update on that. And get your opinion about what you feel that should or shouldn't be done in this situation. So we'll hit on all of that tonight. So we got kind of a busy night, but we're going to roll through it because I'm still in pain. So I'm here, but trust me, I'm fighting through it. So definitely we'll do that and see where we go from there. So um, man, this is so crazy. This actually came out and the other day it came out, which is crazy. Here it is, you in the Air Force, and um, now I'm sure by being in the Air Force, you must be a crazy individual to, or any individual actually, to uh, to sexual assault any child. Um, and the problem is with um, this is really crazy how this is taking place. But this serviceman who was um, actually went and met a young girl, 11 years old. 11-year-old girl went across the state line to meet her and raped this child. And when he raped her, he was caught, and which is really crazy how this guy did this, and unfortunately probably feel like he did nothing wrong. Unfortunately, but unfortunately you did do something wrong. So they led to Hurlburt Field rape of Alabama child. He actually, I got everything I want to open up now. The 25-year-old airman charged recently with October the 20th rape of an 11-year-old Alabama girl met the victim through the digital dating app. I'm not going to name it because they're not a sponsor. According to the affidavit filed in Alabama Morgan County District Court. Also, according to the affidavit, the victim parents did not learn of the alleged rape until until 4 months later was when the parents found out about it. And so they found that about it 4 months later, and that's when everything came about, when her father intercepted a friend request posted by the man charged in the case, Air Force Senior Airman Keith Williams of a Hurlburt Field maintenance squad. On a Facebook page the father had set up some time before for his 3 children. The page profile include a photo of the 3 children, and the victim father saw the friend request February the 12th and posting as his 11-year-old daughter, responded by asking, "Do I know you?" According to the affidavit, Williams responded with the name, which they kept the name out from such and such. He went on to describe what the victim was wearing on the night of the incident in detail about the backyard of her home. From there, William made some salacious remark about the victim, referenced the rape, and wrote, I'm going to definitely marry you in the future." A lot of laughing out loud. He also told the juvenile he lives in Florida because that is where he works, but can leave his job every now and then. According to the affidavit from a police detective, in the northern Alabama city of Decatur, where the alleged rape occurred. Immediately after the February 12th Facebook exchange, the affidavit state the victim's mother asked her daughter about Williams, and it was then that the girl disclosed William October visit. The Decatur Police Department investigation was open the same day when police were told the girl had met William online and had sexual intercourse with him in the backyard of her family home. The investigation included a March 1st forensic interview at the Morgan County Children Advocate Center. A forensic interview is a standard. It's a structured conversation led by a child welfare professional designed to produce information that can be used in court. During her interview, the victim disclosed that she began chatting with Williams after she met him online via a dating app. Um, the detective wrote an affidavit also during the interview. The girl identified Williams through his Facebook profile photo, according to the affidavit. As the investigation proceeded, the Decatur Police Detective obtained search warrant for Williams' Facebook profile and for the dating app. According to the case filed in Morgan County Circuit Court, a judge signed off on the insured of arrest warrant in the case on April 29th. In addition to the first-degree rape charge, William also is charged with electronic solicitation of a child and traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act. Williams was released May 16th and released from the Morgan County Jail after posting a $60,000 bond. William was subsequently placed under the control of the Air Force and is prohibited from leaving Alabama. Excuse me. In Alabama, first-degree rape carries a penalty that can range from 10 years to life in prison. Electronic solicitation of a child carry a penalty of between 2 to 20 years in prison. And traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act is punishable by up to life in prison. At Hurlburt Field, William is a member of the 901st Special Operation Aircraft Maintenance Squad. The squad is part of the first operation wing. The host unit is Hurlburt Field. The Northwest Daily News emailed the dating app the only avenue of its website for handling press inquiries on Thursday afternoon with inquiries regarding how an 11-year-old girl obtained access to the site. As of late Friday morning, the business had not responded. While the dating app does have numerous positive reviews across the digital realm, at least some reviews characterize it as a site geared more towards short-term involvement than long-term relationship, and as a site not necessarily suited for younger users. So this serviceman went across state lines to have sexual relationship with 11-year-old child. I say it all the time. Parents, we have to pay attention to what our kids are doing, because kids are learning and growing up too fast from what they hear in music, what they see on TV. And if you're allowing technology today to actually raise your kids instead of you spending quality time with your kids,
it's more incidents like this that we haven't heard about. And that's why it's so important that we actually pay attention to what's going on in our kids' life. Because one of the biggest thing is 11 years old, 11 years old, invited this man to her home, not knowing who this dude is. This dude could have came in, killed her and the entire family. But for some reason, she trusted him that he was a good guy. But you don't know that. He can't be good if he's coming to meet an 11-year-old child and to have sex in the backyard. Now, the question is, this 11-year-old child, where was the parents during this time? And then on top of that, what does she know about sex? That's why we have to pay attention to what's going on in our child's life. We need to know who they hanging out with, who they communicating with, who are they friends, who are they leaving with. At that age, you shouldn't be leaving with nobody, not unless you with them. Because some of these other parents you can't trust. They allow their kids to raise themselves. And some parents say, I've heard parents say many of times, I'm only supposed to provide the basic. That's a shelter, clothes, and food. No, you also need to guide them knowledge. But a lot of people don't want to do that. So hopefully this young lady get some help. The parents get some help. Because this is crazy. And that dude, hopefully he get the max. He get the max. You're a serviceman. And I'm sure you could have found somebody who is your age range. Instead of meeting an 11-year-old child, you just sick in the head. So hopefully he do get the max and go from there. Excuse me. Now, this next story, Sophie Hartman. This is just crazy. You went through all of those things, whatever it costs to adopt a child, to basically torture the child, allegedly torture the child. This is from the Law and Crime, a Dan Abrams production. Woman subject adopted daughter to unnecessary feeding tube, wheelchair, hundred of medical appointments, authorities said. Now, a woman is charged with subjecting her adopted daughter to unnecessary and sometime invasion medical aid, including a feeding tube and wheelchair. Washington State woman Sophie Hartman, 31, had the 6-year-old girl go to more than 474 medical appointments since 2016, said King County authorities in the criminal complaint. Hartman first went to Zimbabwe after her freshman year in college on a month-long mission trip. She said in 2019 interview with King 5, that was when she came across the girl, an orphan aged 3 weeks. Hartman said she had already been fostering the child. Older sister, she adopted the girls, but claimed to notice that the younger sister body acting strangely, either very limp or very tight. Doctor found significant brain damage, she said. Hartman, however, referenced a disagreement she had with medical expert about the girl's condition. She complained to the neurologist about the child suffering seizures, she said. The girl underwent EEG, but the doctor said they did not see anything, she said. There's been time where she was like literally totally paralyzed. And I go to her doctor and be like, I know she's walking right now, but she was literally paralyzed all day yesterday, she said. And they'll be like, no, that's not possible. But she insists the child could not move. Hartman once spoke at a Make-A-Wish Foundation fundraiser. For us, this is just what life looked like, she said. It's navigating constant traumatic chaos. The girl is fine, authorities said. Um, they removed her from Hartman custody in March during a 16-day stay at Seattle Children's Hospital. She could eat and drink on her own, could go to the bathroom without medical aid, was able to run and walk without orthopedic uh, braces, and had no need for a wheelchair, they said. Investigator also voiced concern about Hartman's ongoing treatment, saying she sought palliative care for the girl and told her educator at the school that the child could leave us anytime. The defendant made internet search for songs for sick kids, best song for cancer patient, and funeral song, they said. Hartman is charged with assault of a child in the first degree and attempted assault of a child in the second degree. Her attorney denied wrongdoing, saying the child lives with a rare neurological condition diagnosed and treated by doctors at Duke University Medical Center. Ms. Hartman's child was diagnosed with a rare neurological disease, altering hemorrhage of childhood by one of the few expert pediatric neurologists in the world from Duke University and by neurological at Mary Bridge Hospital in Tacoma, Lawyer Adam Shapiro and Jessica Goldman wrote in a joint statement. The child has been elevated and treated by the doctors at Duke for 3 years. Contrary to alleged of the King County prosecuting attorney, the child diagnosis was made by more than one doctor is legit, and it's a base assumption and records beyond the report and information provided by Ms. Hartman. I don't know. Some people would do anything for attention. We've seen this plays out on TV shows. We've seen it plays out in real life where people would send their child through several medical treatment, even though there's nothing wrong with that child. Now, some people will also come in and they'll demand that something is wrong, then later find out it's nothing wrong. I believe here in Dallas, a mother did the same thing a couple of years ago because she was upset at her ex. And luckily the ex ended up getting custody of his child, and the mother ended up going to jail. So you gotta know who you're dealing with. Last week we talked about Leslie Gillespie briefly. She was arrested when it came down to sexual assaulting a teen student. So, Alabama teacher shoot herself 2 days after arrest for sex with teen students. Uh, the 2019 Teacher of the Year faced rape and sodomy charges. Now, some people say, "Oh, she Teacher of the Year 2019." That don't mean a thing. She's still human. So, a teacher in Alabama has died by apparently um, suicide 2 days after being arrested for having sex with teen student. Leslie Gillespie, 44, was found dead at her Hillsborough home on Saturday morning from what authorities said was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Um, that's, hey, some people don't know how to deal with it. They do the crime, but they don't know how to deal with the consequences. They don't think that far before they actually do these things. So that's a problem within itself because you got to realize anything that we do in life is always a consequence behind it. And unfortunately, hers was going to be jail time, but she didn't want to see a day in court, and she took the easy way out. Praying for her family, but um, leave the kids alone. Leave the kids alone. Um, Now, this next story is kind of strange, and I think it's kind of setting the tone to a lot of other cases. That terrorist attack that happened January 6th. It's actually one of those situations where prosecutors are starting to drop certain cases. Now, the first one um, that they're looking at dropping. Say prosecutors seek to drop first Capitol riot case. Um, the case against Christopher Kelly of New York City is the first of nearly 500 stemming from the Capitol to collapse for lack of evidence. Lack of evidence. Um, Federal prosecutor told a federal judge Tuesday that they intend to drop a Capitol riot case against a New York man accused of having been inside the Capitol during the siege in January. It is the first of nearly 500 Capitol riot cases to collapse for lack of evidence. The man, Christopher Kelly of New York City, was arrested January 20th after the FBI said a paid confidential informant told agent that Kelly was posting material on a Facebook Messenger app about the riot and his plans to be in Washington on January 6th. The information said a photo taken inside the Capitol was also posted, according to the FBI. In the charging document filed in court, an FBI agent said, "I believe the message and image reflect that Chris Kelly was using this account to inform associates that he had breached the Capitol and was inside." The court document accompanying the charges include photos that the FBI said showed Kelly on the Capitol ground, but they did not include any further indication that he entered the building. Other riot cases have included data from cell phone service provider indicate that defendant phones were inside the building. This case did not, nor did it include any photo of Kelly himself inside the Capitol, or offer any direct proof that he was among the rioters. I've been seeking to drop the case Tuesday. A prosecutor wrote that upon reflection of the fact currently known to the government believed dismissal serves the interests of justice. The motion to dismissal said the government and defense counsel have discussed the merit of the case. Kelly's attorney, Edward McMahon Jr. of Middleburg, Virginia, had no comment. So he posted photos and they decided not to press charges. Now, the thing is, if he's posting these photos and making it seem like he's there, but he wasn't there. Now, also, his brother is the ex-New York City police officer that was arrested also. Now, I don't know who was sending him the photos as fast as they was coming in, but they saying he wasn't in there. So they looking at dropping those charges. Now, I don't know if they're gonna drop them or not, but they feel like that's the best interest for it. I don't know for sure. But he was there in Washington. He bragged about it. And I think this is a setup for many more to come, because I feel that a lot of people are going to use that as a defense. I wasn't there. I just said I was. And that's not the way it should be. And you went along with this, but now your attorney going to try to come up with a way to get you off. And that's basically what's going on with this guy. And then on top of that, welcome to the show, Charlotte Wesley, watching on Facebook. Now, it's going to be a lot of other defense come up. Like last month, we talked about Foxitis or something, where they watch too much of Fox News. They trying to use that as a defense. And I think what they're doing on this is going to open up more doors where people can actually try to use a defense. I don't know if the guy was there or not, but let the record be known, he was in Washington. He was posting pictures as if he was in the Capitol, saying we just breached the doors and all of this. Well, you put your own self in that position. Nobody did that. You did. So, so that's the way I look at it. Welcome to the show, T Cal. Thank you for always tuning in. So that's the way that it basically come down. They're gonna use anything they can as a defense to get out of this. But I still truly believe that if you took part of this and you was in the Capitol, Capitol Hill, you need to be held accountable, just like any other terrorist would be. You should be currently in jail with no bail. You shouldn't be able to go on trips. You shouldn't be able to be at home with your family. You should not be given any other special privilege than what any other prisoners would get, because it sent a message. It sent the wrong message about what America stand for. Because if someone else from a different race or country do a terrorist act, guess what? Now that's going to be their defense. So I think it should be equal justice across the board, and then come along and hold them accountable, because they did go in there. That's what they wanted to do. That's what they talked about. So yeah, they should be held accountable. Um, so that's the way I feel about it. But a lot of people may feel a little bit different. And oh Lord. uh, yeah, this is crazy. So uh, the clown endorsed a clown here in Texas. Donald Trump endorsed Greg Abbott for re-election. I don't know why they did it or anything like that, but that just don't. mm. I told y'all Greg Abbott would do anything Trump say, and he endorsed him for a re-election. Um, yeah. Oh well. I'm not gonna waste no time on that tonight, but um, that's what we had tonight. I'm still in a lot of pain. Hot showers and icy hot is working pretty good in the ice packs I've been putting on. Um, so other than that, I will see y'all tomorrow night. Um, if the good Lord say the same, I'm gonna try to get some rest because I'm still hurting, and hopefully, I'll be feeling much better tomorrow. So until tomorrow night, I appreciate it. Love each and every one of you. Until then.